What's up, Cyberspace Cadets? It's IRATE PROSTATE here. And it's Sunday. You know what that means? It's time for ice cream. Hope the metal intro didn't disturb you after that beautiful rendition of Hallelujah. Speaking of, that was tonight's guest is the one and only person that sang that rendition of Hallelujah. Is a lady that I've been longing to really reach out and touch and hang out with and just chill out. And today's guest happens to be, people see that ice cream is a treat. Well, talking to people that I think are interesting, that's a treat for me. And so that's what we're doing here every Sunday. Is I'm enjoying a treat. So everybody, this is none other than Pink Salmon. You there, Miss Pink Salmon? You there, Miss Pink Salmon?
Yes.
Hey. All right.
Hey.
I had just done your introduction, and then I realized that you hadn't even heard jack squat of what I was saying. And that's my humble apologies, because I usually, I always make some kind of boomer mistake at some point during the show. So,
hey, it's not a show if there are no tech issues. I've been in business a long time.
No doubt. So, all right. So, the way I usually do the questions is I start at YouTube, and then kind of talk about who you are. You know what I'm saying? And then we come back and it ends at YouTube usually. Okay. And everybody gets asked this. So, how long have you been around YouTube, and what was the main reason you started hanging out at the YouTubes?
Well, a couple of years ago, I started really kind of getting into the internet because I was home and bored and had nothing to do. And I started watching YouTube for my favorite things. And I found Golf City. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I must write songs for it. And then my channel kind of just fell out from there. I mean, I did enough for, I think, 4 albums. And so, I decided after my Mac died that I was going to stop for a while. But okay. I'm doing something else right now too, so.
Okay. What's the idea behind your persona? Why a Pink Salmon, and how much of who you present yourself as would you say is the real you?
Well, I think the salmon is kind of an overextension of my ego. I mean, because I don't have a lot of personal feelings for myself one way or another. It's just meh, whatever. I'm just a person. But as the fish, I can be extra, and people don't question it. It's like, I can be as foul-mouthed and nasty as I want to be, and no one questions the fish. So.
I dig. Yeah, you don't live around a bunch of Baptists, do you? Like I do?
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, no. Well, I do live in the buckle of the Bible Belt, but as you can tell by my accent. I don't worry about them.
That's right.
I'm surrounded by pagans. and they have guns.
This is I knew people. This is why I do this shit. Is because I knew she would be cool, and that's why I'm just. This is for them. Now back to you. All right, I love asking people this question. So, is there like a food from your childhood that you fucking couldn't stand, and now as an adult you actually like it?
Broccoli.
Okay. That's
it hates
a common
me,
one.
But I like it.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I think what happens is as we age, the bitter foods start to taste better to us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because our taste change, we have really, really sweet, and as kids, anything high fat or high sugar, kids love. So, but when we get older, a lot of us don't keep that. Now, I'm a sugar addict all the way. you know. but I still would rather eat asparagus or broccoli or something like that if I had a choice. If I had stockpiled the pantry against myself. You know how that can happen.
So all right, sticking around the childhood thing, who would you say is the most influential person on you as a child?
2, Monty Python and George Carlin. A lot of my feelings and politics are mixed up in those 2 kinds of comedy. And it's part of why I love comedy so much. I love it when people are funny and can laugh at themselves and everything else.
Are you old enough to remember when it was like Monty Python was on PBS?
Oh yeah, I watched every episode.
And it was like fresh run shit, back then, even though it was probably a year old.
Right, because America always got their stuff late.
Exactly. But yeah, I'd love, that was a big thing every Monday morning. Me and this dude named Marty would break down the comedy of the weekend. It would be like Saturday Night Live, and then
right?
Python, Saturday and then Sunday. So yeah, it's interesting. Right. Yes. So what kind of kid were you?
I was one of those big-eyed, glasses-wearing, hay for hair kind of quiet children. I would have shot up a school if I were growing up right now. But back then, then I was just the quiet, weird girl, and people just left me alone.
Kind of staying in kind of that area, did you have any like elementary school, middle school is kind of the same? What do you think the craziest thing you ever did as a kid?
I made out with another kid under the desk during nap time in kindergarten.
Wow.
I got kicked out of the class for that.
Oh, that's crazy. Says a lot about you, though, doesn't it? It does, really. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. All right, so
dude, I'm first to admit, principal but slutty.
Okay. All righty then. Oddly uncomfortable for me. It's a good thing, though.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a good kind of uncomfortable. I like it. I'm a masochist.
Ooh. Now you're barking up my tree.
Yeah. Let's see. So, all right. What about does the Christmas time of year, is there like any kind of special, like, television show or movie or song, that...
My favorite Christmas movies are Hogfather, which is from a book by Terry Pratchett, and the Rankin and Bass set, Santa Claus is Coming to Town and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and those guys. And I have to watch them all together because they're short. And the third one is Die Hard.
Oh, that's right. Hey, Die Hard is definitely a Christmas movie in this house. Okay. I'm glad we all see eye to eye on that shit. All right.
Yeah. Well, Gremlins is a Christmas movie too. And
it is.
To watch it.
See, thank you. A lot of people forget it's a Christmas movie.
It's an X thing, man. We know these things.
That may not be Adonis Paul. Just saying, y'all. Okay, so if you could go back in time and talk to yourself at the age of 8, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell little Pinky?
Don't sweat the small stuff. Someday you will have bigger boobs.
Nice. All right, I'm getting a picture of like how high school probably was for you.
You think, but not so much.
I'm messing with you. You know, it's like I love this stuff. The witty banter is what they say. Yeah. So tell me about high school. What was that like for you?
Well, again, I was the weird glasses wearing geeky girl who didn't speak to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just would read and meditate in class and write a bunch of stuff and make money and, just did all that stuff in high school and pretty much just did whatever I wanted. I mean, I passed every class without a problem. So, not that I cared.
Did you hit
School
the?
was stupid.
Have you done any of the reunions?
The what?
Any of your reunions?
Oh, hell no. There ain't anybody from school I want to even deal with. Like, you bitches are fake. All of you are fat and old and divorced. Fuck you.
That's right. It's in the rear view, man. All right,
That's
so
right. Never look back. It distracts from the now, as Edna would say.
all right, now this word has a specific definition here. Is what? All right, describe the first time you remember getting fucked up. I don't mean like buzzed, or comfortably buzzed, tipsy. I'm talking fucked up. Like,
I was 24, and I had just been dumped by husband number 2, which lasted all of 8 months. It was a stupid decision. Anyway, so we all went to the bar to celebrate a friend's 21st, and I was so, messed up. I smoked everybody's fucking cigarettes that were on the dance floor and drank so much alcohol that I passed out on the tailgate of the country and western club that we were hanging out in. And they have pictures. I also asked a guy to let me spank him. And so, yeah, that was the first and the only time I got that fucked up.
Yeah. How was that? But the hangover was a ball too.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah, that's.
I love these young people, man. They're like talking. I don't get hangovers. I'm like going, you will.
You will.
You will. Trust me.
Shit, I get a hangover if I eat too much sugar at one go.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I agree. I agree on that totally. All right, so kind of getting into the music thing. What was the first concert you ever went to?
I went to a pop symphony, and they were doing patriotic tunes.
Cool.
My dad was Air Force 23 years, so, we did culture because we were trash. Tried a way to better ourselves.
Indeed. So, what was your favorite band? What was the first album you bought? I'll put it that way. How about that?
Okay, the first record I bought was a disco compilation with the Bee Gees and that song Percussion and a bunch of other, a mixtape basically. Mm-hmm. And then the next two were The Police, Synchronicity, and Boy George, Church of the Poison Mind.
Wow.
But I listened to everything. I mean, jazz and swing and classical, fucking rockabilly. I listened to all of it, except for rap. I didn't really care for the rap thing when it came out. I'm better at it now. I'm better about it now. There's more out there that's more person, not always talking about slapping some hoes and shit.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just not, I don't know. I just don't see. I see the creativity behind it, but I don't know if it's singing. To me, melody has to be prominent for it to be classified as a song to me. But hey, what do I know?
And really, it's poetry with a backbeat. So if you think of it like a poetry jam, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, more like spokenness. If you present it more of as a spoken word kind of thing, I can get that, right? I don't know. I got a problem with shit, so I got an attitude.
Well, and there's a lilting natural melody in every type of accent and voice, and I think that voice represents the underlying melody for them. Like, have you ever listened to an Irish person? There's a music to it. You can't understand a goddamn word they say, but there's a music to it.
There is.
And and everybody has a rhythm, like this
Italian,
slow Southern drawl.
French.
Yeah, totally. So it's about, this is the cultural song. There's just happens to be a bit drum heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get that. That's cool. So you figured out what my guilty pleasure is, but what's your guilty pleasure when it comes to music?
Poppy.
That's mine
I'm with
too,
you on
man.
that.
I know, dude.
I love the recent stuff, man. I don't know why I don't know where she came from or what planet she landed off of, but
I kind of dug into the history and
stuff.
shit. It's cool. Weird, and I love it. I think it's I think it's very Warholish, the way that that
it's very avant-garde sort of. I get you.
Titanic Sinclair, doing his thing. But yeah, the new stuff with the baby metal kind of approach, I kind of dig that. So
yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, I love J-pop.
I'm not a big weeb. There are some anime things I like, but I don't like the music as much. And so, but I do like some classic anime stuff, and their music, of course. Like the music from Kenshin, the battle music, right when it's out. That music we used for my husband's entrance at our wedding.
Oh wow!
right before the story I do.
I want to take a minute and say hey to JTR, the serial killer himself. Hey man, how you doing? C. Thomas, Gulf City Peasant. That's a long name, dude.
Thomas.
Let's see. All right. Sorry about that. I spaced for a minute.
It's okay, man.
I'm back.
I'm spaced in your space, man.
I rebooted.
Sometimes we have to do that, man. Our hard drives are getting old.
Yeah, no doubt, man. My CPU is it kind
Windows
of
no longer
overclocked
supports
that
this.
motherfucker. Yeah, overclocked it. Yeah, for too damn long, man. That's funny, man.
Yep.
I did a lot of acid. I'll put it that way.
Fuck yeah.
Translate that.
I like mushrooms better than acid, but damn, acid's fun.
Well, the shrooms are like economy, right? Acid is like you better set aside like 20 hours.
Yeah. Oh my God. Last time I dropped acid, I was so. I got bored with being high. That's how long it was.
I know. It's like, oh my God, when is this going to end? Jesus. Am I going to be this way forever? All right. So what about your relationship with music? Tell me about that. When did you realize?
My dad.
Okay, go ahead.
My dad had this enormous, diverse record collection, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so we would play this game where we'd look at the cover art and try to guess what genre it was. And then we would listen to it and we'd talk about it. My dad loved music. He loved art. He loved science. And so I got a good dose of all those things. I got a good dose of the monster in humanity too, but that's another story. So he has this collection and it goes all the way back to the 20s. And so here I am, I'm living and sometimes anal person from the beginning of his collection to the end. And at that point, the last thing he had bought was Abbey, by the Beatles, as you, I'm sure know. So I got hung up in jazz and big band stuff and the stuff in the 50s and musical movies and things. And I freaking loved it. I could sing it. The pop stuff, I couldn't sing as well. And so I liked the older stuff because my voice was better suited to it. So that's kind of how I got started.
Cool. All right. So, I'm trying to figure out how we get to where you're doing what you're doing today. It's like, okay, because you've got this great what was I noticed it was it's like this real low key but jazzy approach to doing these covers. Mm-hmm. It's like, what about that arrangement? What's going on there? Are those musicians, or is that a program or something?
No, oddly enough, I have been lucky enough to find a bunch of stuff that's been done that way, like post modern jukebox. Mm-hmm. Okay, they do a bunch of those things, and I get their karaoke stuff and sing over top of it, and adjust it to how I want it, and so that's a lot why I have, because other people have done parodies in that same style. Mm-hmm. So or covers rather in the same style, and since that's where my voice usually, that's what works best for me. So I've done a couple of techno rap piece, and I've written a couple of original songs in my list, but doing covers is, I can focus on doing other things. Of course, I write a lot of parodies too. City has Go City songs like crazy coming out the whole album.
That's awesome. That dedication and your approach is very influenced. So talk about your influences, because a lot of people. I immediately hear Peggy Lee for some reason, right? And
yeah, there's some Peggy Lee in there.
Yeah, but you've got a higher register, but yeah, you've got that smokiness to your voice. Mm-hmm. Which is very very sultry and very good stuff. So what made you like say, okay, I just want to do this for these guys, or just what did that look like?
I have never really indulged myself fangirl sort of behavior. Mm-hmm. I hadn't found anybody whose vision I really dug. I mean, I really get where Justin is going, and I love the show, and so to me, it was a natural extension of how I usually express myself. It's just to write songs and sing them, and to do that, I had to have a place to. And so yeah, that's how I got started doing what I have been doing last year.
All right, so do you think about what you want to sing first, or does sometimes like something hit you and you're like, how does that work?
You know how inspiration works. Comes through the front wall of your house, grabs you by the throat and says, give me others. So you have to kind of go with what happens. I dream a lot of the things that I write about. So,
cool.
I live in that space.
Right.
God, I sound like a freaking pretentious artist.
No, jazz musicians call it the alpha waves, the alpha state of the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, it's called being in the zone.
In the zone.
It would happen with me when I was doing sculpture and shit. Just to lose time and stuff. Mm-hmm. Get deep into the creative. It's like, because I'm sure because you've written some songs, there's occasionally there'll be those songs that just put themselves together. And just like boom, there it is, right?
Yep. And you look at it afterwards and you go, what the hell happened? I tranced out and I woke up and this amazing thing was sitting here.
Yeah, it's fucking magic, man. It's like, that's only happened with me with like 3 songs. I think everybody's got one good song in them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all right, you talked a little bit about marriage. You want to elaborate a little bit more?
Well, I'm on number three. The
Okay.
first one I had kids with. The second one we were drunk, and we decided we didn't like each other when we were sober. And then number three, I've been with the longest, 20 years this year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Congrats.
he rescued a poor stray kitten. I needed a lot of help by the time I got to him, and he's been there every step of the way. And we just do what makes us happy, whatever that happens to be at the moment. So he works a job that he's happy, and I sit at home and do crazy shit on the internet with people because it makes me happy. You know,
Well, that's
That's just
cool,
how we
man.
roll.
I mean, who would want, you know what I'm saying? It's like that sounds like the ideal state of being an American.
It
Um,
is. It's like having your best friend that you can have sex with and nobody gets weird about it the next day.
yeah, I dig that, man. It's that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool like perception. So, what are your kids like?
My kids are cool. My son is like a clone of me. He is slacky and charming and generally kind of, one of those adorable pod smoky ones. He's my guy. And
Hmm.
my daughter is the go-getter. She's the ambitious one in the family. And she's got three kids and a husband and a big house that she owns, all this other stuff. And she's like amazing. She and I hung out and and she just is so much fun. We relate to each other on a more level than I expected, which, since I didn't raise.
Hello.
Hello?
Okay. All right. I thought you kind of your mic is kind of cutting out occasionally, um, and I thought it would just cut you off. So sorry about that.
No,
Um,
no, it's okay.
yeah, it's usually enough. It's not doing enough to where we're losing a lot of words. So
Oh,
it's
my bad.
no, it's okay. It's, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. So all right. So we're talking about kids. What? All right. So describe what the best day of your life has looked like.
I've had so many best days.
Mm.
I can't even pick. Um, I guess going to see my kids last time has been the best day kind of thing. So, we are hanging out in a hotel, clean and expensive, and, hidden underneath the freeway away from the rest of the traffic, and um, go get coffee at the Starbucks and go to my kid's house and hang out, play with the baby, and, talk and smoke a J together. You know, it's fun. And then we go back to the hotel, and then the next day we go to my daughter's place. We Starbucks in the morning, go up to the house, hang out, play with, talk a bunch of nonsense, and then she drinks rather. So by the time she's really drunk, I'm ready to go home. So it's that was you know so and then get to hang out and experience that with my bestie. Yeah, pretty good day.
Cool. Um, what about what did the worst day of your life look like?
I was sitting in the witness in, as an 11-year-old, facing the one person I should have been able to trust in my life, and seeing him smile at me while I'm sitting there terrified. That was the worst day.
So you were sitting in the witness booth, did you say?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, we had gone to court against my dad and his, and so so yeah, having to testify in person that hurts you is never.
Oh, wow. So, what what caused you the most pain?
Having to leave my kids behind. That was the hardest. That was the most painful. But there was nothing I could. They were better off with their dad. I was insane. Job, skills, you know.
Well, and I think it takes a lot of courage to make a decision like that. You know, that kind of sacrifice.
Yeah. And they turned out well. I really am proud of them. They're both really great people. Their dad did them a solid. He raised decent kids, and you know they're sweet, and forgiving, kind. Also know how to stand up for themselves. You know they're kids. I'm really proud to have been part of that.
Good. So moving on, let's kind of shift gears here. And what would you say your old school, your the most favorite old school muscle car?
Oh.
Excuse me.
Well, a Mustang is the obvious answer. But I wouldn't say no. Huh? Oh, 65.
Okay. There you go.
But I wouldn't say no to a Charger. Kind of same sexy vibe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's like the muscle variety. I'm a GTO kind of guy. 68.
Yeah,
GTO.
I get that.
Yeah.
GTO is awesome.
It's beautiful. So, all right. The boom. Do you have a guilty pleasure food wise? We talked about
sugar.
Guilty pleasure.
That's easy. Anything that's got sugar in it.
Okay.
It doesn't even have to be chocolate. I like everything else, including chocolate.
You got a sweet tooth.
I do, and I'm paying for it. Diabetes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I figure, hey, if an alcoholic dies liver for not giving up their drug of choice, I don't see why I should have. I may have to give up a foot, but you know, I can die how I.
I like that attitude. I really do. Very, very cool. What about movies? What's a guilty pleasure movie wise?
Horror movies. I freaking love them. Okay, now I have to preface this with I only have been watching horror the last 2 years. Okay.
Right.
And I am hooked. So I'm still kind of a newbie with horror, but whew, I love it. Rob Zombie.
Yeah. So what's your favorite Rob Zombie?
31 right now.
Oh damn, that's a good movie, man. You know.
I told you.
Doing that and shit. Yeah. 3 is interesting. I'd be interested to hear your take when you check it out. But yeah, there's all kind. Oh man, there's so much good shit out there. I'm a big David Cronenberg fan.
Yeah.
Horror's wheelhouse. I wanted to be a makeup artist when I was a kid.
That explains a lot about your avatar.
Yeah, because I grew up reading Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, and that's actually from exactly. That's from the one of the magazine covers. It's an artist named Basil Gogos.
Yeah,
it's good shit. I'm down with it. Yeah, I love horror, so that's you've got my ear now.
Well, that's what the new show's going to be about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So have you seen Hereditary?
Fuck yeah.
Well,
that was good.
Have you seen Midsummer, the new one by that guy?
I have not seen Midsummer. I did get a chance to watch Split though, and I really liked it.
Oh wow, that's a great fucking movie.
You know, I thought that was interesting. Of course, I really like Joker too. I think Joaquin Phoenix knocked it out of the freaking park.
I hadn't seen that yet, so.
Yeah, I watched it.
Sweet. Well, all right. So moving on, what you talked earlier a little bit about anime. So, what's your favorite anime series character?
Oof, Rurouni Kenshin, hands down. I mean, I have a bunch that I like, but Rurouni Kenshin and Trigun are my favorite. But Kenshin mostly.
Sweet. Sweet. All right. What about, let's see. So what's your favorite scar?
My favorite what?
Scar?
My favorite scar?
Yeah, do you have any scars? Of
Oh
note?
yeah, I do. I do. Um, I have a really big scar on the inside of my right elbow. I had the flu so bad. I rolled out of the bed and landed on the bowl I ate out of for breakfast and shattered it, and it punctured my arm right there. It's like it was really deep and it was a big cut. And I looked at it and I just laughed. I'm like, "Hey mom, check this out. I'm bleeding."
Wow.
Because I was so wasted on cold medicine. I was just like, it was awful. I hated it.
Hey,
But yeah,
Bullwinkle, and Gulf City Outlaw. I'll see you guys out there. That's right. And queue up
okay.
if you got any questions. When we get to the end, we'll let you guys ask a couple of questions. The best way to do it would be to address it with the question mark at the beginning and then at the end. So just get your questions together. Just saying. All right. All right. Let's see. What about tattoos or piercings? What
Nope,
about
not a single tattoo. And I had my ears pierced, but let them grow out, and I had my tongue pierced at one point and let that grow.
Hmm.
So I don't wear them anymore. I don't have any active bodily mutilation.
It's like you remember when tattoos were like the in thing and shit, and everybody was getting them. And I said to my sister, I said, you know what? I need to invest in a laser tattoo removal machine, and just
Yeah,
wait, And sure
yeah,
enough, man, I'd be a rich motherfucker right now. Um,
right. But I decided that if I ever get a tattoo, I'm gonna wait until I'm the saggy and baggiest that I'm gonna be, and then get a tattoo.
yeah, it's like, can you imagine what some of that art's going to look like? You know what I'm saying? After
I know,
gravity,
right?
yeah, gravity and shit. Gravity is not
Gravity sucks.
yeah. Gravity is not a kind a kind foe. Not
I'd just
not
be
not
glad we're not on
yours.
Jupiter. We'd all be 3 inches tall.
It's crazy. So if you could go back in time and spend a week with anybody, who would it be and why?
Hmm. I think I would go to Gloria Steinem's house and spend the day with her and let her know what way feminism is going to look like, and tell her just to put
Put her damn what?
her damn bra back on,
That's
because it's gone entirely at this point. And I believe in girl power. Okay, I'm down, but some of this shit is just ridiculous. I
yeah.
would rather a man open a door for me or pay for my dinner and then give him a blowjob later than fucking be alone and own 80 cats. I mean, I
I
like dick
feel
way
you.
too much.
No, I totally get that. I totally get that. So, all right, what job would you really be terrible at?
Um, Data entry. All those numbers, I would get bored and fall asleep, and then chaos would ensue because my head had pressed all the keys on the keyboard.
Yeah, and we've been graced with the presence of Sir Adamantine and Pinoid News.
Hey guys.
It's a hit the like button, people. Share this damn thing. All right, subscribe if you haven't.
Yeah.
And I'm raising my eyebrow, looking at you, going, "Why haven't you already?" Right? All right. So what? I ask these weird questions, and they're usually because I want people to ask me these questions, right? It's like, do you have a
Right?
favorite? Do you have a favorite like piece of clothing?
Oh, totally. My Gulf City Phil shirt and my
Uh-huh.
pair of knit shorts. I pretty much live in this stuff. I
Nice.
had to buy more golf gear so I could go another day and golf.
That's awesome. Um, oh, dude, I forgot about this question. I'm gonna use something else. Let's we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Well, all right, so you want me to ask you? I'll ask you. All right. If we had your genitals chopped off, what would you replace them with?
If we had what?
I see. I told you this. If you had your
Well, no, you were laughing.
if you had your
You were
genitals chopped off, what would you replace them with?
a robotic pussy that was warm and soft and could change its size.
Interesting.
That's the only cybernetic attachment I've ever liked.
Right. Um, all right. So it's kind of like we're kind of getting back to the YouTube thing, the YouTube side of town. Uh, Talk about who is a YouTuber you think is that you think's really even criminally undersubbed.
Hmm. You know, there's so many great guys out there, so many
Mm-hmm.
talented people. It's so hard to choose,
I know.
because there's great stuff everywhere. That's what YouTube doesn't seem to get. It's like, don't you remember when you were in your infancy and all these people longing to be heard came to you? What the
Mm.
hell, man? Why'd you sell them out? But I'd have to say me. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Hey,
I honestly think gas sub. Fight Supremacy should have way more people watching it. It's the funniest, most original shit I've seen.
right.
And, so, I mean, it has its detractors, I know, because they missed the front. But, there ain't nothing wrong with that. You can love what you love. But
That's
go
right.
subscribe, go watch. Watch all the cartoons, binge all the Saturday night streams, you know? Do
It's
all the
fun
things with the
stuff.
stuff and the
It's
guys.
yeah.
And it
It's
has spawned some very rabid fans, myself being among them.
and note that in the description there's a YouTube link to Pinky's channel and another link to her Twitter. So
Yep. Hit me up, man.
sub and follow, share, like, love, send that shit out because she's fam and she's cool. All right, and get those questions ready. Okay. All right. So what about we talked about undersubbed. What about somebody that's just way overhyped and you don't fucking get it?
I would have to say the Young Turks. I don't
Mm.
get it. I mean, I love political discourse, right? But I look at their show and go, what the hell? I'd rather watch Alex Jones than watch you guys.
Yeah. So what about them? Do you think is like the overrated? Um,
It's mostly that they speak entirely nonsense. you know, they're hacks. They're riding on the back of Twitter and on the back of other people and making opinions that are inflammatory because we're so much better than you. I'm like, you guys are list pigs. Stop that.
mm,
You're
is
not
it?
better than anybody. Shut the. No one gives a shit about your opinion.
It is interesting to I don't know. The discourse is very. It's very interesting. I don't know. I don't know.
I
It
have
is.
never been more interested in politics than I am
It's
for the last 4 or 5 years. And like, oh shit, let's see what's going on. I think I finally grow up. I grew up. My car is paid off, so now I have to watch politics. I don't know what.
No, I'm convinced we're in some kind of Berenstain universe thing. That's we've
In
gone.
2013, the poles shifted and the magnetic shit all
Yeah,
went crazy, and now
I
we're
know
living
what
in all.
it was
Yeah.
when Lisa Marie Presley and Michael Jackson kissed on stage on MTV, right? And
I don't know.
and
I
that's
don't give
what
a
we
fuck about
that's
Michael
what
Jackson.
we became worshipers of celebrity, right? Um,
Right. Ew.
so let's get on
Our
that.
generation was the one that gave us Princess Di too, and people just were like stupid nuts over that one.
Yeah, Anna
They're just
Kasparian has
people.
something for you.
Yeah, I'm fucking
Mhm.
better than you, okay?
Did you hear
Fuck you,
that?
Anna Kasparian. I would turn your ass out.
No doubt. I had to pull the
You
soundboard
come to
up
my
with that.
house and I would miss. Yes,
Yeah.
I love the soundboard. Sinatra has one, and one of the guys in the group has one, and Dual Wield has one. They're just hilarious.
Duels, man. He's like on a whole different level when it comes to audio shit. He knows his shit. So that's right. Flipper says hi. Flipper
Hi,
says hi,
Flips.
people.
What's up? I'll be over to your house later. We'll break one off.
All right, so you said you had. All right, so you've got a show in the works, a horror show. Yeah.
It's called the Real Silver Screams, and that's real EL. So it's a play on words.
Yeah.
And Inkler and I are doing an ish any more than I animate. But animation, I don't do the good stuff like AP, I guess. But we're going to talk about all things. We're going to do bios of people, legend of the genre, like Vincent Price and all.
Oh,
And
wow. There's a cool thing on my channel that I did about Christopher Lee. You should check
I
his shit
love
out.
Christopher Lee.
Man, he was
Yeah,
a spy during World War II and shit.
right?
He did all this
Those bitches
incredible
were
shit.
tough.
Man, he's crazed. He climbed he climbed Mount Vesuvius while it was an active volcano during the war. I mean, just crazy, factoids like that about him. Obsessed with the fucking Tolkien. He met him, got a signature, and so he was very fastidious about the making of the movie. Anyhow, moving on. All right, so you've got this show. What about musically? Are you working on anything that people need to keep an eye out for? Something new?
Not at the moment. I was considering doing a few Christmas tunes, but I just don't have time this season.
Mm.
So the singing is kind of out because I'm having some technical difficulties. I have not used a Windows machine in 20 years, and sort of spoiled on the workflow in a Mac. So I'm having to relearn all of that shit.
Oh wow. So, yeah. Well, shit. So, questions, anybody? We got a couple minutes here before we decide to wind this thing up. Remember, question mark first if you can, and then ask the question. So I'll know it's a question. Maybe put a couple of question marks at the end of it. But there's a little bitty delay, so we can wait on that. All right. Here's your soapbox. What do you want to say to the chat?
Don't ever take yourself too serious.
Okay. What makes you say that?
Because it's not worth it. Most people don't think half of you as much as you think of them thinking of you, and could care even less. Other people's opinions don't matter. They're just ideas. Don't let the ideas hurt you.
I want to thank. Oh wow! Gulf City Alamo donated $5. Have a great show. Oh, thanks, man. At the beginning, I don't understand why I've got to check this thing out because it's not notifying me with the slabs. And Pinoy donated $3 because he's a cheap bastard. Right? Give me another.
He's gonna pay all that child support.
Yeah, right. Pinoid Radiator 2020. Tell Pinky I said, what up, what up, what up. So that's a greetings from Pinoid. You know, he's an acquired taste. You know.
I know. I've watched enough Pinoid to know what he must taste like.
That's right. Ortiz 805, I see you out there. Killing Joke, man. Hope you're feeling better, brother. Yeah, man. Yeah. He and I got some vascular shit in common. Our aortas hate us.
I hear you, man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. Anyway, so talk to the chat. Give them some love. Tell them what you think of them. Tell them.
Okay, Gulf City Outlaw. I think Cult of Krill is truly the hero of the people, but there's always room for an alliance of heroes. Support Gulf City. Let's see who else is here. There's Joker. I love you, Joker. Ortiz, you have been around so.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting because Ortiz will be sitting in this chair at some point in the future. It's Ghastly. I've got him. So December is looking to be up with some peep. I already got in the sights there. Next week, I'm not exactly sure, but I should know that on Thursday because we're doing a special Thanksgiving. I'm not sure on the time right now. I have to work that out because I got to talk to my fam, the IRL people, and see what's going on with that. But I think that we'll be on if I would bet my best guess is like around 4ish, 5ish, around this time. So it'll be me and Doc Griffin hanging out. Finally, after this crazy stuff, we were supposed to do it last week and found out I've been spanked by YouTube because I'm a smut peddler, obviously. They caught me for nudity and the Friday show was probably guilty of that. It was the one before it that pissed me off. Anywho, before we part, show yourself. You're wonderful. You're talented. You're blessed with a beautiful voice.
I'm currently doing something, but watch the Twitter and the Discord, where I will post the new channel as soon as we get the intro and everything set up to
Sweet.
be ready for the first show. We're watching The Voices for the first show, and if you haven't seen it, you can become a patron and come watch it with us, or you can go and check it out. Brian Reynolds in a horror movie. What can you say?
Oh, that one! Oh, that movie is great.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but I haven't seen it yet, so spoil it.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. Damn it, I did that last time. Anyway, sorry about that.
American Phoenix, I love you.
It's a little metal thing there. It's fun though. But yeah, it's Ryan Reynolds is a hoot in that film. And
awesome.
Anyway, there's a part in there that's anyway, I can't tell you anything about it because it's I don't want to give away any of the secrets of it, but it's good and there's a comical element to it. The dude is talented. Of course. Yeah.
He is talented. I mean, I think he's a great comedian.
Yeah, he's very funny.
He's got good timing.
Yeah, he's a Canadian.
I liked him in the was so funny with him and Sandra Bullock. And you get to see him naked. Yes.
Oh, ooh. Ooh la la now.
Hey, I'm a girl. What do you expect?
That's right. Hey, I totally get it too. I totally get it. And on that note, no homo. All right, people. And on that note, I guess we'll bid the group adieu. Like I said, come back Thursday for me and Doc, and I'll know who's going to be in the chair a week from today. So yeah, special week. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. If we don't bump into each other before then, gratitude is a good thing. There's if you have nothing to be grateful for in your life, I pity you, because I think that there's something that we're all grateful for, right? Anyway, on that note, I don't know why I'm moral fagging like this. Anyway, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Wave that flag.
All right, y'all. Love.
Every week on Friday, midnight Eastern, the Creem stream. The weekly world news for YouTube. Sundays, 5 p.m. Eastern, the ice cream interviews. Fascinating people. Fascinating people. Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, hot takes with the Butter Baron. Watching horrible shit so you don't have to. Subscribe to IRATE Prostate now.